Oh yeah!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dead on Dave, and as you notice, I don't have my microphone stand. I'm having to hold my mic like some fucking asshole because my wife snapped my damn microphone thing. I have moved my mic boom stand thing about 15 times, never had a problem. I asked her to do it once for me, and she fucking Mongo snaps it right off. Melanie Smash. She snapped it right off. That's why I don't let her jerk me off. Because things like this. She'll snap my dick off like a fucking stalk of celery. My God. Oh, Jesus. German people. No big deal, though. I'll be getting a new one shortly because I'm going to make her go to the store and buy me one. Because that's how thugs do things. We cry and whine and piss and moan until we get our way. And damn it, I've been done wrong. It's a travesty. It's a sham. It's a sham travesty. Anyways. I'm going to hold this thing, and hopefully the audio will be okay, and it won't be too bad and too bouncing around. You know, because I'm a bouncy guy. I'm constantly fucking moving, so this really sucks. And this is annoying. I don't know how many videos I'm going to do today because of it until I get my new stand. I don't know. But I do at least want to do this one, so let's get right into it. Macho Man. Oh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage finally going into the Hall of Fame. It's huge. I did a video on it yesterday, actually, a short one, on my cell, and it didn't work. Well, I couldn't upload it. And then when I did upload it, I realized I filmed it vertical, and for some reason when I converted it over, it would only show in the one way, and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't upload it. Anyway. So, we got to talk about this, because, look, I don't talk about Randy all that often. I don't talk about the Macho Man as often as I probably should. I do not give him the proper place in history that I obviously know that I should. It's just one of those things. He's probably one of my top 5 favorites of all time. For some reason, the Macho Man is so good that I forget to talk about him. He was so amazing at everything that he did that I sometimes forget. You know, I did on the last viewer question, I did the greatest feuds of all time. And even in the honorable mentions, I had a spot in my head. I knew where I was going to put it, but I did not talk about Savage and DDP, which is one of the greatest feuds of all time. I didn't talk about it, and it's been killing me ever since. I fucking forgot to talk about it. But don't worry, on Sunday, viewer questions. Thanks to Dave Rose, who asked a bunch of Randy Macho Man Savage questions. I will be doing a very Macho Man-centered show, and I'm very excited about that. But I want to talk about Macho Man and the Hall of Fame ceremony specifically. This is a long time coming. And for those of you who don't know, a lot of the reason, depending on who you talk to, more of the reason than anything else that he has not already been in the Hall of Fame many, 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 many times over, is the demands of his brother, Lanny, who stated that before Macho Man died, because apparently he talked about these things very often, even though he died in a fucking car crash. Yes, he had a heart attack while he was driving, but still, he died in a fucking car crash. He wasn't on a deathbed and saying, Lenny, do not let them put me into the Hall of Fame. Not without the Buffo family. Yeah, no. I don't believe that conversation ever happened. I don't believe Lanny Poffo. Do not believe him. He's a shill. He's a snake oil salesman. This guy, I've never really appreciated this man. He is more concerned with his own legacy than he is his brother's. He should have got out of his own way, and which he says he's doing now. Getting out of his own way and doing what's right, even though, forgive me, brother, forgive me. Fuck you, okay? I don't believe it for a second. You should be asking for forgiveness for standing in the way of this for as long as you did. Because if Randy was alive, he would have been in the Hall of Fame much sooner than this, I would have to assume. You know, I mean, granted, he died, 6 years ago? So you can make the argument he should have been in 10 years ago, but he wasn't. He's had many run ins with WWE, all the shit with Triple H. But in the last 6 years, all the reconciliations that has happened naturally, Hogan, fucking Ultimate Warrior, so many others, Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, so many others. You're telling me that Macho Man, that wouldn't have happened? Macho Man would be, 64, 63, 64, 65 now? You're telling me it wouldn't have happened? Come on. Come on. This guy's place in history. When you talk about greatest matches of all time, you have to, even if you're a Macho Man hater, you have to put Macho Man Steamboat in the category because it's probably the greatest match ever wrestled. It just is. It just is. There's no reasons that are well spoken enough. It just is. You go watch it and you see it. You realize it. You feel it. You smell it. You taste it. You know it. It's innate. It's there, and you know what's right. You see it. You know it. I love the Macho Man for everything that he did in and out of the ring. He was crazy. I appreciated that. I loved it. Who he was on the outside is who he was on the inside. It's just that he was the same guy. Everybody always talks about it. They're like, oh, he must have got tired of talking that way. No, because that's how he talked. On the outside, maybe he was a little softer, but it was still the same Macho Man with the hand gestures. Yeah, he was still that man all the time. And it was very cool. Let's talk about the fucking 800-pound red and yellow elephant in the room. Inducting the Macho Man into the Hall of Fame is Hulk Hogan. Now, I'm pretty friggin' torn on this because their feud outside of the ring in the public eye is legendary. The hatred that was there for years is legendary. Legendary. Joe Cronin, myself, and the rest of the JCS crew, we have done shows based around this hatred. I mean, one of the greatest lines that we've ever done, the nothing face-to-face thing. Nothing face-to-face. Nothing face-to-face. We've done that ab nauseum, I mean, it's crazy. However, Hogan states that right before Randy died, and I didn't know this, I just read this article actually, that they started to talk again. After not talking for 10 years, his own words, they had not talked for 10 years. Which really, by Hogan's own, that math doesn't actually add up because they were still working together 10 years prior. But, Hogan's math, you never know. Not talking for damn near 10 years, they started to talk again. Now, he didn't really elaborate on what the nature of the conversations were and if they were 100% positive. But the fact that they were opening the door to that is a big thing because as strong as their hatred had grown, it was probably equally in love, their love for each other, bro love, at one point probably was the same thing professionally and personally. I mean, they were inseparable for a very long time. Now, in the ring, these two are two of the greatest rivals and teammates in history. I mean, they were the mega powers. I mean, not only in WWE, but in WCW. They were a very strong alliance in WCW as well. I remember one of the most awkward and weird things I had ever seen in my life. I was just a kid. It was a pay-per-view called Uncensored. Now, I wonder how many of you guys remember this thing. This was nuts. It was the Tower of Doom. It was a stacked cage match. It was the first time I had seen that. And it was a stacked cage, but the cage had different cells that you go into, and inside, and it was Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, and it was against the Four Horsemen and the Legion of Doom and other people, like Lex Luger was involved. I mean, all these people. It was just those two starting at the top and having to fight their way down to the bottom. And I'll never forget this match. It was absolutely incredible. It was really, really entertaining too. They beat the crap out of at least 10, 12 guys, it seemed like. And they started in the top and they had to keep working their way into new chambers, and Then they got to the bottom, and the two guys in the ring, it was Zeus, and I want to say was it the Zodiac? Who was the other guy in the ring? Shit. I'll have to look it up, but it was Zeus and somebody else. It was another big mammer jammer. It might have been the Zodiac. I can't remember. But those two dudes were in the ring, and Hogan and Macho had to fight their way out of it. It was Zeus from fucking No Holds Barred, man. It's Devo. You know, it was the president from fucking The Fifth Element. I mean, it's the same guy, you know. It's crazy. But that's who was there. And then it quickly even got more insane. Everybody got involved. Macho Man was getting weapons. It was crazy. It was such a insane match. A lot of fun. But it's one that stuck out at me forever because, I mean, they were friends. And I'm not sure who else should be, in some respects. I don't know who else should be inducting Macho Man. I don't know what Hogan's going to say. I mean, because of all the animosity that was there in the years leading up to his death, I don't know what Hogan's going to say. Hopefully he'll tell some good stories. You know, hopefully, I'm fairly certain it's going to be Lanny who's going to be accepting the award, which pisses me off. But who else is there? I mean, there's just not another person unless Hogan's going to present it to himself. Which, you know, Hogan could do that. I mean, he is Hulk Hogan. I mean, this is basically the most full of shit man in the history of wrestling. So would it surprise you if he presented an award to himself? It wouldn't surprise me at all. That's a Hulk Hogan move right there. It's very interesting. It's such a strange thing about what can happen, and there's going to be a lot. The closer we get to Mania, I think the more this is going to become a story. Macho Man being the first guy doesn't he should be the headliner, but because he's not going to be physically there, we can expect another big name to headline to be physically there. Who that's going to be, just because of the WWE and knowing them kind of the way we do, they're going to probably overshadow Macho Man with one of their own guys. And they made such a big deal over it. It would be unfortunate if they did. But I have a feeling this is going to... It could be The Undertaker. It may even be Sting. I mean, but there has to be another guy in this class who's actually alive to accept the honor. And you know, let's face it, sell tickets to this event and bring eyeballs onto it. Nobody wants to hear Lanny Poffo talk. I think that's part of the reason why Hulk Hogan is doing the presentation, because nobody wants to fucking hear Lanny Poffo talk. We've heard him talk, and it's terrible. Nobody wants to hear it. So, you know, I think that has to do with it. Overall, after thinking about it now and getting a little bit of sleep and, you know, having it weigh on my mind, I'm not as upset with this decision as I was, because it makes a lot of sense. Who else could it have been? It could have been Steamboat. But people forget that match. These younger demographic, they barely even know who Ricky Steamboat is. So the impact of having Steamboat there would be minimal. DDP, that is a very good... I thought that would made a lot of sense. I mean, why not DDP? DDP just inducted friggin' Jake Roberts, but I'm pretty sure Hogan just inducted somebody too. So, you know, I don't know if that argument really holds up that it shouldn't be DDP. But at the same time, Hogan does make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. They have so many connections. You know, so wouldn't it be fucked up if it was Luger? Ooh, that'd be fucked up, wouldn't it? The man who carried the Macho Man's former fucking wife that he got all coked out and killed with drugs. Yeah, that's the guy that you want to and have induct you. Oh, here's one. What about Flair? People forget about Savage and Flair's rivalry, which was fucking epic. Epic. Flair would be a great guy to induct him. And who better to induct you than a two-time Hall of Famer? Jesus Christ. You want to put a poignant moment on to, you know, giving you guys the most bang. Hell, there's prestige, honor, and a big name to boot. Flair's a 2-time Hall of Famer. Bam! There it is. Conversation over. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think of this? I'm very interested to hear what everyone has to think about the Macho Man going in. Obviously, long overdue. Obviously, it makes the most sense, and it needed to happen. And here's another question. Here's an even better question. Who's next? Who's the next egregious name that's not in the Hall of Fame? You know? Who's the next guy that makes you insane that's not in there? Put that in the comment section. That's all I want you to, for that one, just give me a name. Just write a name, type a name of who is the next guy that should go in the Hall of Fame that is just mind-boggling that he's not already in. And go ahead and put that name down there in the comment section or tweet it to me at DeadOnDaveV. I'll retweet it and I'll give a comment on it. And we'll talk about it right here, maybe even later on today, depending on how many people comment today, but certainly tomorrow. And if there's enough comments, maybe I'll just save it until Sunday and talk about it then. So that'd be a cool discussion to have, and that'll be a lot of fun. The apocalyptic weather is starting to come back in here in Germany, and my light's dimming. I should have turned on my lights, but I didn't because I'm an idiot, and I'm pissed off because my wife snapped my fucking stand, and it drives me crazy. So here's what I want to do real quick because of that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video today because of the stand issue, because I really hate holding this microphone. It just bugs the living piss out of me. I'm going to go through Monday Night Raw last night a little bit, and let's get into it and talk about it just for a little bit, and then I'll get you guys out of here. I'm sure it's staring at my big fat asses. Not how you want to spend your morning, right? So, or whatever it is where you're watching it. So Monday Night Raw, a lot of people were like, I think people were mainly confused at Raw, right? I mean, there was not a lot of matches. Cena and Rollins was probably the best match of the night, and it was the first match. Dean Ambrose and Rusev was a pretty good match, but it had one of the strangest endings I've seen in a long time, because usually when a referee stops a match, it's because a guy can't continue because of head issues or something. But to stop a match because of a knee, I understand that Ambrose has been selling this knee injury thing for a while, but I mean, come on, there's a few other ways they could have done this, right? I mean, I don't know. It's protecting Rusev, but it's getting Rusev a win while they feel they're still protecting Ambrose from a real egregious loss. I mean, you think about it. We talk about all the losses that Ambrose has had in the months previous, to Rollins. There's a caveat to how he lost to Rollins. People got involved. Bray Wyatt interfered. Then you go to the Bray Wyatt situation. They were gimmick matches. All these things, none of them have really seemed to take the shine off of Ambrose. He's still very much in with the fans. A lot of people seem to be upset with the comedic angle last night, with him being psych evaled. I actually thought it was funny. I like hearing Dean Ambrose speak. I like seeing him respond to people because he's so funny. He's so naturally gifted when he talks. Him doing the association with pictures and ho on Hacksaw, then Stephanie ho, that's great. It's good stuff. And then ultimately making the Shrink break down in tears is absolutely hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. And by the way, it is weird that you sit when you pee. And it's a great line. My God, just great lines. And it makes you scratch your head that the same guy who is writing for Ambrose is writing for Rollins, writing for Reigns, who earlier in the night went on a fucking fairy tale promo. A fairy tale promo, players. He went from suffering succotash to Reigns and the magic fucking beans. What the hell? What the hell? They are not taking Reigns seriously at all. They are hurting Reigns' image. I don't get this. They're going to fucking make this guy a goddamn Muppet cartoon and then put a belt on him? Jesus Christ, let's all hope that it is Daniel Bryan that is really going to be coming out of this thing as the man. Let's hope that's the case. He's getting back into the ring, and he's getting right back in with the Authority, so that gives me some main event hope here that Bryan will be involved in the main event storyline going forward into WrestleMania. Now, I'm hoping he parallels with another guy who I feel stamped his ticket, made his mark, showed the world that he is a main event man, and that is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins made the biggest jump of his career last night. What he did last night on Raw, what he showed on the mic and in the ring, meant more to me than winning Money in the Bank, meant more to me than beating Cena. Which he also did last night too, by the way. He beat Cena again. Now, granted, with a lot of help, but still, you get my point. The promo he did at the end of the night was brilliant. Now here's what people aren't talking about. He went word for word with Heyman and won. He won. I felt he won that exchange. I felt he looked, when he used the Heyman's own words against him, and he said, "I'm not finished." It was a great line. It was delivered. There was so much emotion there. You felt it. And everybody, sphincters were tightened because you just never knew if Lesnar was going to go fucking mongoloid, ape shit, and kill everyone in the ring. That's the great thing of having Lesnar there, because you never know if he's just going to decide to kill people. Because he could do it. I can see. Would it surprise you if we ended a Raw with Lesnar just holding a severed fucking head of somebody in the ring? No, it wouldn't surprise you, because the guy's a fucking caveman, crazy man. I love it. His unpredictability is one of the best parts of Lesnar. It's what makes him so fucking interesting. It's what makes people want to see him. Lesnar talking a little bit was really cool. It's something to see. Calling him Mr. Curb Stomp, I thought that was a cool touch. Cena not having a lot of words in the promo overall was a really, really good thing. They teased a lot of uncertainty on who's going to beat up who in the triple threat match, and they legitimized Seth Rollins because of it. They made Seth Rollins really appear to be like he belonged in that ring. And earlier in the night, when in a backstage vignette with Rollins and Lesnar going nose to nose in a promo gave me chills. And seeing them face to face actually made me want to see them feud. Is it going to happen? Are we going to see it? Probably not, because Lesnar is probably leaving, even though I'm not as convinced of that as I once was. So there's so much disarray. There's so much uncertainty. There are so many questions going into WrestleMania. Who's staying? Who's leaving? Who's going where? Who's doing what? That I think this could be one of the most exciting and anticipated WrestleManias in a very long time. If for nothing else, just to wonder what's going to happen the night after. Who's still going to be around? Who's going to be making their returns? Will it be the last night of The Undertaker? Is Sting going to wrestle more than one match? Who's going to have the fucking power? Who's going to be the champion? Is Rollins going to be around with Bryan? It would be an amazing main event. Will we get Lesnar and Bryan? Will fucking Ambrose and Ziggler find their way into the main event? Who the fuck is Cena going to headline with? Because, he's going to be in a top-tier match. What's going to go on with Rusev? Tag team turmoil. Are the Ascension going to be ready by WrestleMania? There are so many things. I think this is an exciting time. Who's going to be coming back in the Divas division? AJ Lee's coming back. Are we going to have AJ and Paige for the fucking Divas title at WrestleMania? Is that going to happen since she took it took it off of AJ the night after last year? Is that going to happen this year? Holy crap, there's all these questions that are being left unanswered, and it's exciting that we're going to get answers to these. People can talk about the shit that we see every now and then, and quite often actually, and even some of the shit that we got on Raw last night with the non-wrestling. But let's face it, there is actually a lot of good story and a lot of good questions that's left to be untold here. And I think if we give it time, we're going to be very... he's be inducted. I just realized I messed up on my little ticker line there, and it looks retarded. God damn it! I'm having a bad day. But the point is, WrestleMania has a lot to offer this year, I think. I think we should be excited, and we should let Royal Rumble play out and continue to just try to think that the best thing is going to happen. I feel that we got a taste of that with Rollins last night. Not much else happened of note on Raw. The Ascension continued to do their thing. I'd give Raw between a 5 and a 6.5. I know it's kind of a big gap, and it's a stronger 5. I mean, it's a 5 even if I go as a 5, but the main event, the match with Ambrose and Rusev plus the actual end segment, it bumps it. I gotta go. You know what? Fuck a 5. I gotta have to at least a 6, probably a 6.5, and the end segment gets an 8. The end segment gets 8, 8.5. That was a great end segment. And my whole computer just went down. I hope, oh my God, I hope I'm still being recorded because my system just went down for a moment because I'm just having a terrible day. That's the type of day that I'm having. Oh my God, and I just farted and I might have pooed a little. There she is. You can't see her. She's off camera, but there's the boom mic breaker, my wife.
Sorry.
You're not sorry.
Yes, I am.
Fine.
You told me to tighten and I did.
Well, yes, but I didn't mean you putting your entire ass behind
You
it.
said go till it stops.
No, I said go till you feel. I said you'll feel it. You'll feel it when to stop.
It kept going, so I kept twisting.
Well, so does my dick, but you don't twist it off.
That's different. That doesn't come off that easy.
Yeah, it doesn't come off that easy, and you only touch it once every 6 years.
Ayo.
Ayo. I love you.
Love you too.
All right. So on that note, is there a better way to end up another great show here, another daily focus right here on Dead on Dave Productions? I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here on that. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you're checking out all the Dead on Dave merchandise on Spreadshirt.com, deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Cups, shirts. You can drink from this face now. Holy shit. There are all kinds of things that you can do. I got to thank Isaac Rojas once again for that. Tommy Talks interviewed me, reciprocating the favor that I did for him, interviewing him for Creators Corner. He interviewed me last night. Make sure you check that out on his channel, Tommy NC 2010. It was a pretty damn good interview. We had a lot of fun, talked about a lot of things. So check that out. Make sure, if you haven't watched the Joe Cronin Show review on Spectrum Gaming 617, you go over and do that right now. Monetize this coming up later in the week, also on Spectrum Gaming 617. And if you just can't get enough of this ugly mug, if you can't get enough of my opinions and views and all kinds of crazy things that I spout off, you can also catch me Tuesday through Thursday on In the Crease with Tommy C on his channel, Shot from the Point. Shot from the Point Productions. Make sure you check that out as well. 4:30 Eastern Standard Time live on his channel, In the Crease with Tommy C. We do hockey like you should do it, and I'm really proud to be a part of that. So other than that, I think I'm out of here. Oh yeah, dig it, yeah. Tower of Power too sweet to be sour, yeah. Freak out, man. Yeah. I love it. I love the Macho Man. Excited to see him go in. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and share. Dead on Dave Productions. We're out. Hopefully I'll have a new mic stand soon. And I will not be so grumpalumpicus. I'm out.